Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about the features of Java version 10 and 11. So Java 10 was a minor release. There are not major changes in Java 10. Only few minor changes and that are not much important. But yeah, one thing that you have to remember in Java 10 that the improvement in G1GC. So the G1GC worst case latency is replaced with a full GC parallel. So this is the point that should remember for Java 10 features. Remaining are minor features, so they are not need to be discussed. So let's proceed with Java 11 features. So in Java 11, there are like a few methods introduced in a string class. So this is the first feature. So for using this feature, let's see with an example. So for the example, I am using JSL, which we have discussed earlier in Java 9. So JSL was introduced in Java 9, and in JSL we simply write our code. So let's see variable. Actually, var variable is also used in Java 12. We can define the uh, local data type using var variable. So variable is string value equal to, here I am writing mk you study JOUR journal. Let's add some space here. So the string value assigned a value mk study journal. So let's see our method. So we have is blank strip trailing strip leading and repeat. So is blank will check whether the string is blank or not. So is string value dot is empty. Here you see, so this will return a false because the value is not empty. Yeah, here you can see. So the next method is string value dot strip. So strip will remove the leading and trailing spaces both. So here you can see the space. Here is the leading and trailing space. Both the spaces are removed. And then we have two more method for strip trailing and strip leading. So strip trailing will remove the trailing space, and similarly strip leading will remove the leading space. So the next one is repeat. So let's see what repeat do. String value dot repeat, and in this repeat we can pass a value how much time we want to repeat. So if I pass 3 when I hit, so you can see the same string get repeated 3 times. So this is the functionality of repeat method. So these are the feature, like these are the method in string class. So let's proceed further. So the next feature is a local variable type inference in introduced. So similarly as I discussed, the variable is introduced, var is introduced. So in the lambda expression we can use this var. So here you can see the example in the stream. Here we can use var directly, like var I equal to, and then we are adding this function over here. So this is the second enhancement. Then see the third point. So that point is there is a as match predicate. So in a string we simply create a pattern and as match predicate and pass the value and simply test that. So let's see this with the example. So here I am creating var string match equal to, then pattern, then dot compile. Here I am passing a pattern, suppose test main, then as match predicate. So this is the new method. Okay, so here this predicate is created string match. Now see string match, and when we compare over here like string match, here I am passing simply test hyphen main, and it will return actually string match dot test method. So it will return true as the is completely match. And if I use string, so string match dot test and pass some garbage value over here, and when you click on this, so it return a false. So like it's not matching. So here you can see the feature like as match predicate. So new method, this method will create a predicate is pattern matches with the string, like whether a pattern is matches with the string or not. The next is new method in file class to read and write string, read the string and write a string. So here we have like files dot write string, and similarly here we're passing the path and the string. So this will create a file with this string value, and similarly we have files dot read string. So in the file that is read string we are passing the path, and from this path it will read the file and print the string of that file. Here you can. Okay, so let's run this code for the write string and read string. So here I am using files dot write string, and that string takes two parameter. One is path of the file and then next is the text of that file. So path, so see path dot of, and I am want to create the file in the same directory, so I am just mentioning the name of the file, this dot txt, and then the string means content of the file, and enter. So it's create a file test.txt. Let's read the file again. So files dot read string, and simply we are passing the path over here, path dot of, as it is the same directory, so just pass the name of the file txt, and here you can see it simply read the content of the file. So here we can see how easy to read and write a file using Java 12 files methods, read a string and write a string. Let's proceed further. So the next feature is removal of thread function. So stop and destroy objects are removed from the JDK. So because these objects are only used to throw the unsupported operation and no such method error. So these methods are not used anymore. So these objects are removed from the thread function. The next is time unit conversion. So using the time unit class we can simply convert the time into year, month and days. So here you can see this example. We have time unit C and here time unit dot days. We are converting these hours into days. So days, here we can pass actually year, month as well, and here we are using this duration class, duration dot of hours, and here we are passing these hours, and these hours will be simply converted into days. So like 24 hours converting into 1 days, this will be 2 days, and 60 again will be 2 days. So this is the use of time unit conversion class. So next proceed further. There is a optional dot is empty. So this method is introduced in Java 12. Earlier we were using the is present method to check whether optional is empty or not. Now we can use the is empty method. This is empty method simply returns true or false if the value is present in optional, and if it is not present it will return the false. Here you can see. So here you can see that we are creating an optional with an empty value. So this will simply an empty optional, and when we check is empty, so obviously it will return a true value. And here we are creating an optional with a value like case study journal. We are passing this value, and when we check this is empty, it will return false back because the optional is not is empty here. So this is the user is empty method of optional. Even you can run this code simply. You can go here, just run this code, and now check the empty optional, and dot is empty. So obviously it will return true because the value is empty. So this is true. And the next line is here we have a non-optional value. So we can simply check this non-optional. Now just check dot empty optional, and when you check is empty method on this variable, so definitely it will return false. So that's it. Okay, so these are the major enhancement in Java version 11. Like we have discussed these changes. So Java 11, like the improvement in the string class, then like where data type, then as match predicate, then the new method in file class like write string, read string, we have run the code as well. Then the removal of function like removal of stop and destroy from the thread function, and then time unit conversion, and the last one is optional dot is empty. So these are the major point to remember for the Java 11. So that's it for the Java 11. Now we can proceed with Java 12 and 13. So let's proceed with Java 12 features first. So first enhancement in Java 12 is switch statement is converted into switch expression. Means now we can get the value from a switch expression. Means it will return the value and we can assign this value and use wherever we want in our program. So here this is an example. We have an enum and we are passing this enum into this switch block, and as per the value it will return the value, and that value will assign to this num letters, and that will be get printed over here. So let's see this with a simple example. So here JDK 13 is installed in my machine. So actually this switch expression enhancement is in preview mode, so let's enable the preview. J shell preview. Now JShell prompt is open. Let's num value now switch. I am passing 2 as a hard coded value, and then in the first case block 1 is simply returning 1, then second case block 2 is simply returning 2, and then default is returning 0, and then I am closing this. So here you can see that we are passing 2 as a default like as a hard code value. So as per this value the second case will be executed and it will return a value 2. So let's see. So here you can see that the value 2 is assigned to this variable num value. So this is the use of switch expression in Java 12. Now let's proceed with the next feature. So the next feature is a teeing method. So new method in collectors utility class teeing. So teeing method, it takes 3 arguments, 2 collectors and 1 by function. So basically the purpose of teeing function is we have 2 collectors, means 2 list or 2 data structure, and we can perform some action on these 2 data structure and get the result in a combined way. So here you can see that we have a like this is stream, then we are using dot collect on this and then performing this teeing method on it, and getting this summation and divided by the count, and it will return that average. So in this example you can clearly see the uses of teeing method. So teeing method basically it's using these 2 collectors. One is summation of all these values, and second is parallelly counting the number of these values, and then the function, the by function that we are passing here is calculating the average of this, like by sum and divide by n. So n is the count and sum is the sum of all these values, so it will print the average. So now this is a very useful method that can use to calculate many mathematical operations, and also in another uses to calculating different data structure and combining the value into a single data structure. So now proceed with the next feature, low pass time garbage collector. So this is an experimental feature and is not included in the default Oracle OpenJDK. So basically Shenandoah is a garbage collection algorithm that guarantee a low response time. So this algorithm is basically used in the Red Hat. So here is Shenandoah's research project announced by the Red Hat in 2014, and the target is to low latency application requirement for the memory management. So this is as it's mentioned that there is experimental features. So for the low pass garbage collector, JDK is using this algorithm. Now proceed further with the next a feature, so new method in the string class. So these two methods are introduced in string class. The first one is indent and another is transform method. So indent method is basically adding the leading space in any string. So here you can see we have a string, this string variable, and when we use indent 5, so it will add 5 leading spaces with this string. And the second is transforming function. So for the transform function, it's accept a function. So here you can see like we are passing the same string value, and then the transform. In the transform, what we are doing, like we are concatenating this string and applying this function that we have created over here and another function that we have created here. So applying this function and it will return the value in this variable. So let's see this with the example. Here variable, suppose str value, and here I am the saying mk study journal here. So we have indent function in the string. So str value dot indent indents. Let's see the exact method signature, indent, and then pass the value indent, and then pass, suppose I am passing 10 over here, and just hit this. So here you can see that it's adding a leading space over here. Now the next method is, it is a transforming method. Okay, so let's see the transform method with an example as well. So here we have already a string value mk study journal. Let's transform this string. So here I am creating a variable transformed str value. Here I am using this str value dot, I am calling transform method. Here I am just using s dot I'm transforming this to uppercase here and then closing this. Now let's see. So here you can see this string value is transformed to a uppercase. So this is the functionality of transform function. So let's go ahead and proceed with the new feature, another feature. So another feature is new method in java.io input stream. So basically skip n bytes and passing the int the value. So this will skip the first n byte, n is the value passed in the parameter. So here you can see the example, like there's a file name mk_studies_txt, and in the try with resource, so basically in this we are creating this resource input stream, and we are reading the content of this file, and while reading in input stream we are just using this skip n bytes. So what it will do, it will basically skip first 100 byte and then read the like 101 bytes. So this is the use of skip n bytes function. Let's proceed with the next feature. So the next feature is like a new package. So new java.lang.constant package introduced, which is the part of JVM constant API. So these are the this has also affected several other classes, and these classes are like class, double, enum, float, integer. All these are used using the constant package. Now move ahead and see another feature. So the next feature is comparison of two files using files.mismatch. So the like functionality of files.mismatch method is the two files can have mismatch in below scenario. So if the bytes are not identical, in that case the position of the first mismatching byte is returned by this function, and another is the file size are not identical. In this case the size of the smaller file is returned. So these are the two conditions, two scenario for this method. So let's see this with an example. So here we have the example, like we have the first the path, we have created one file, file1 and file2, and we have mentioned write a string. So write a string we have already discussed in the Java 11, that write a string and read a string is introduced in Java 11. So we are using those method here. So here in this example, it will return the -1 if no mismatch found. Otherwise, like here we are passing this string mk study journal and then external space mk study journal space and test. So it will basically the position of the first mismatch byte is returned. So like the position of this test will be written over using this method. So now proceed further. The next feature is compact number formatting. Compact number formatting is like representing a number like 1k, in k, in million, these terms. So like if we have 1000, so that can be written as 1k. So that kind of compacting can be used here. So here we have used a number format class, number format that get compact number instance, and here we pass the like the region, local US, and the number format like in the sort, and formatting strings number format dot format if we are using 25,000 as they are long. So when we print this, it will be printed as a 25k. The next is like make G1 mixed collection abortable if they might exceed the pass target. So the purpose of this we use the G1 mixed collection only if the pause time is increasing. So you can read this details. Now we can proceed with the further. So with the Java 13 feature, so there are few enhancement in Java 13. So one is the enhancement the switch statement. So the same like switch statement that we discussed in Java 12, there is a few more enhancement in Java 13, and the enhancement are we can use yield instead of case here, instead of break. So you can see switch expression was introduced in Java 12 preview. Now that is extended in Java 13. In Java 13, for switch expression, break has been replaced with yield to return a value from the case statement. So here you can see this example where simply yield is returning the value. And the next feature is text block using triple quote. So now we can write a text block using triple quote. Here you can see this example using this triple quote. We can pass the text inside this. So this feature is very useful when we are writing like HTML kind of content or any rich text content. So that feature is very much useful in that scenario. These are the main features of the Java 12 and 13. Let's do a quick recap. So first feature of Java 12 was switch statement is converted to switch expression. Then the next statement is a team method in collectors class, which is used for the mathematical operation to calculate on collectors. And then a low pass time garbage collector, basically a Shenandoah algorithm for the low pass garbage time. Then the intent and transform method in a string class, and then we had discussed about the skip and byte method of input stream, and then we discuss about the java.lang constant, like which is JVM constant API. Then the next one is like files.mismatch method, the comparison of two files, and then the number compaction, like number can be compact in compact format. And then we had discussed about G1 mixed collection will be aborted if the pause time is exceeding. And then two major 13 features, one is switch statement, the break is replaced with yield, and the text block like we can declare text block using triple quotes. So these are the major features of Java 12 and Java 13. So that's it. Thank you.